All right, we are live and going live tonight with Liz Kasperson, and we're super excited to have her be on here on the Metabolic Reboot with us. And she's released, I think, 28 pounds is the number today. We'll confirm when she gets on here. And we're super excited to have her join us to share her story. And we'll wait for her to get on here. I'll do a little brief introduction on who I am, what the program is. If you are just joining us on the Metabolic Reboot, if you haven't ever watched one of these, we try to do these often, once a week, sometimes more, sometimes maybe less, but we have people come on and share their story for really a couple of reasons. One, to celebrate. It's always fun when you have some great success. And okay, Liz, I see that you're here now. Liz has joined us, so finish my intro and then we'll invite her on. So it's fun for people to celebrate, but also for people joining the program. This really is to be able to hear from someone who's just gone through it and seen some great progress and the tips. And Liz has some great experience. She's traveled, she's busy, she works, she does all these things. And so we're going to hear how she's been successful on the program and some of the tips or things that she's learned and experienced. So super excited. If you have questions, if you are watching this and you have questions, feel free to post in the comments where I'd be happy to answer them here or after. And then let us know. I mean, give us some thumbs up, some likes, some comments to support Liz. Let her know that you're here watching. So Liz, I'm going to invite you on here. See if we can get Liz on. And we're adding. And I'm excited to hear her. Should be adding Liz now. All right.
I see you.
We're there.
I see you. Yes.
Awesome. Good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I can. I just wanted to make sure.
Perfect.
There was a brief echo, but I think it's gone. So if somebody joins us, let us know if the sound is clear. So awesome. Well, Liz, so tell us before, as we start, just maybe tell us a little bit about you and maybe where you were at before the program as far as kind of leading up to it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I work full time and I just am very active and busy, not necessarily as physically active as I wish I was, more just working. But I have 3 grown kids and they all live out of state. I live in the Chicagoland area. So I get to visit them in wonderful places. And so that's where my travel comes from so far. I haven't gone anywhere else this year yet, but I was noticing more and more as I am getting older that I was having more gluten and other food sensitivity issues. And so I have been looking for something that would work. I've tried several different programs and I would always just plateau. And each year it was like another 5 pounds and another 5 pounds. And that was just frustrating to me. So when a friend recommended that I try this, I'm just really, really surprised and very happy with the results. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And I know you and I have had lots of conversations about food and food sensitivities and intolerances. And a lot of people nowadays are dealing with that. So people who are joining the program and they're dealing with all sorts of stuff, and it makes it tough to lose weight. And we find that, we're gaining a few pounds every year, or that's not fun. So yeah. Okay. And before over the years, I mean, some of the things that you had tried as far as not getting results, were there things you had done? What kind of your experience there?
Well, I would lose maybe 5 pounds, but then I would have to go and starve myself basically because I could not break through after that. I just, I had tried some other programs, more like calorie counting programs. And I'm really good at logging my food and staying on target and when I'm on a program, but I just wasn't seeing any success. And then that was just frustrating to me. And like I said, I got to a point where I felt like I'm not even sure what I'm sensitive to anymore because I just felt like I was a mess, and I was, I thought I was eating well and eating healthy, but you can always learn more things. And I tried to glean one good point off of each program, but I still just wasn't seeing any success. And so it just, I would lose hope and lose, the commitment to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
discouraging, right? It's like,
Yeah,
why keep
totally.
doing this if it's not working? So
Exactly. It's just
yeah.
throwing money away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Money, time, energy, emotional energy, right? So
Exactly. And frustration and just not
yeah.
being happy with what the any results, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, okay. So you obviously some of the weight had come on over years and you tried lots of
Mm-hmm.
different things and you were trying to figure out like, what do I do with all this? So you were referred to the program by a friend. You know, and what was kind of the thing that was it that kind of got you going in the program, or kind of what inspired you to do the program?
Well, I think reading through the information, I just it was so different because what really drew me was the maintenance phase, which I'm in right now, because I felt like I could learn how what I'm doing wrong or I should be eating for the rest of my life, you know, at this point and moving forward so that I don't yo-yo. I had done a lot of yo-yoing over the years. And so I was starting to feel like maybe I just had really messed up my metabolism and it just wasn't gonna be possible to lose weight. Um, so I think that's what drew me was the longevity of the program. So I would not be feeling like, oh, now I'm gonna get off the program. I'm really good following the program. It's after the program that I'm like, I just get to my own, you know, devices, and it's like, well, you know, one cookie, and you know, it didn't matter, and then who knows, you know, that was early in the morning. I don't even know what I ate the rest of the day. So I think what really drew me was the maintenance program because I would be able to really get a handle on how I should be eating moving forward and staying at that level and not yo-yoing anymore.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge component that so many people, they just ups and downs with their weight
Yeah,
over, you know, you look back over 10 years and you're like, I've gained the same 20 pounds and lost it over,
that's it.
you know, who knows how many times. So
You have like three different pant sizes in your closet, and it's just like not good, not good at
yeah.
all.
And I always say once now on my program, here's what I always tell people is you lose the weight, get rid of it. Get rid of all the other ones except for where you want to be, because you'll never
Yep,
have to worry about it
because
again.
now I'm purging it. Yes.
Yeah, you're purging it. We're purging our mind. We're purging our clothes. We've purged our
Exactly.
body of all the toxins and whatever else.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
so very cool. Okay, so
Hmm.
you started the program. Tell us a little bit about your experience. And I know like I think you work two jobs, right?
I
You
actually work two
traveled.
jobs. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so you work two jobs. You've traveled. You're busy that way. So tell us about just kind of your experience throughout the process. Um, you know, how you've been maybe successful on it. You
Hmm.
know, that kind of stuff. Some of the things you've kind of learned along the way.
Well, I think for me, in the beginning, you're always like off to a rough start until you just kind of get the groove and get the routine. But I cook ahead. So on the days that I have an evening off or like on the weekends, I would make the next 3 days of food because I'm at this point in my life, I'm just kind of this grab and go person. So I'm not real creative about it. Although I've been looking at some of the recipes and stuff like that now, like moving forward, because it's been 7 weeks and you're like, "Ah, I could go for something different to taste." But it helps me just to be able to stack it in my refrigerator and know, okay, these are my fruits, these are my veggies, they might be mixed with meat if I'm doing, you know, like steamed veggies and but this is lunch and dinner and this is day one, this is day two, this is day three. And that way I'm really not tempted by anything else because it's there with me. I'm taking the, you know, bottles of water with me, or I'm at work, I have a really good water cooler next to me. But that helped me in the morning because I get up at 5. So I just don't want to think about it. And this way, if I haven't prepared, that means I'm at work and then I have to go to lunch and then I have to figure out, well, where am I going to go to find something that I can possibly eat? And then you end up failing. So I think, you know, because I mean, even if you go to like a hot bar or something like that at the grocery store at this point, I mean, you don't really know how it's cooked. You don't know if there's butter. You don't know about the oils. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a couple places where I think there's a lot of gluten cross, what do you call that? Cross referencing,
Yeah,
cross
cross reactive or
contamination.
cross contamination. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had some reactions to some of those local grocery stores near me with that. And you just don't want to eat like iceberg lettuce all the time. So it doesn't fill you up by 2 o'clock in the
Right.
afternoon, and then you crash and burn. So that's what really helped me the most, was just sticking to the meats and the veggies that were on the list. Like you said, just if it's not on the list, don't even go for it. And just cooking it ahead and putting it in individual containers
Yeah.
for
Okay.
me.
Yeah, that's huge. So meal prepping, kind of having your, how
Hmm.
long do you generally meal prep for? Like a day or two, a week? What's
I
kind of
usually
your thing?
3 days. I'll
3 days?
usually meal prep for 3 days. Yeah. And
Cool.
then I, you know, will go for the next 3 days or whatever. two to
Yeah.
3 days, depending on.
Right. Kind of circumstance.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times when people hear meal prep, they just turn off. They're like, that's not me.
Mm.
That's not what I like. Like, is it hard? Have you found it been hard for you to kind of meal prep?
No, because as long as I can pick up the proper foods, then I can just it cooks so quickly when you're not like making casseroles. You're not mixing ingredients. I mean, you're pretty much keeping things very pure, or steaming vegetables or raw vegetables. So that's, I tend to probably buy a few more of the, like, they're already, celery sticks already done, or like
Right.
I'll just grab something like that if it's easy, because it's helpful for me to know that I'm going to stick with it if I don't have time in the morning. But I've been able to, when I've really gotten behind, like prep for 4 meals like at 5:30 in the morning. So because you just cook like the meat, and then
Mm-hmm.
add in the vegetables, and then just pop it in, and then you've got one good to go with you for the day, and it's already warm, and you just take it to work and heat it in the microwave or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
So, I mean, it's just been kind of like that routine where I've just allowed myself enough time to actually do it, and make sure that I have the right foods in the house, so
Yeah.
that yeah. So,
Cool. And that's fantastic to hear that even at 5 a.m. in the morning, you can prep for 4 meals and you're just like, go. I mean, that's so, because so many
gone.
people are like, I don't even know what to eat. Like, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. And if you can prep for 4 meals at 5 a.m. in the morning that
Uh-huh.
quickly, I mean, that's amazing. And that's what I love about the process is it's so simple. You're just like, okay, I
Right.
know exactly what to do. I
Mm-hmm.
can cook it. And then once you kind of cook maybe your proteins or your veggies, or you're
Mm-hmm.
eating really clean foods, then you spice it up and you make it fun afterwards. And you can add a little whatever to it.
Exactly. Then,
So
or I'll
that's
mix them
awesome.
together, or, I'll be steaming some spinach or something like that in the microwave while I'm cooking some, beef. And
Yeah.
I still have like one of those like indoor grills. And so then I don't have to add anything to it. And that goes really fast. Or
Yeah.
at our grocery store too, I don't know if this is countrywide, but like I can get rotisserie chicken cold the next day that's been, pulled
Mm-hmm.
apart. And so that makes it really easy to just throw that on top of a bed of, greens, and then add
Yeah.
in the other veggies really quick. So that makes for a really good salad. And you've got the protein there. So it's real easy to measure,
Mm-hmm.
and just throw together.
Yeah. Cool.
So
That's great. I mean, I think so. Meal prep is, I mean, kind of the overarching principle.
yeah.
Buying the right foods at the store. Obviously, you just get it in your house, and then it's easy. What other things, I mean, have you found for you that have made it successful for you, or helped you being successful?
Yeah. Well, I think the water really is amazing, how you just think there's no way I'm going to drink 120 or 140 ounces of water. And at this point, it's like if I don't drink, I wake up thirsty. It's like if I don't drink it, I'm noticing, because I was wondering if I was still going to be able to continue that practice
Mm-hmm.
after the whole process, after I've, graduated or whatever you want to call it. But now it's like my body is craving it. And so sometimes you're not really hungry. You just are thirsty, and the water is enough nourishment and fulfilling enough so that you don't feel that hunger, you know.
Yeah. Cool.
So
And
yeah.
I love a couple of things you said. I mean, keeping your body hydrated, but you also talked about listening to your body. right? Like, am I hungry
Yeah.
or am I thirsty? Like what's going on?
Hmm.
And you give your body what it needs. And then you're like, oh, I'm actually good. Like I'm not hungry and I'm losing
Right.
weight. And that's fun to not be hungry and lose weight. A lot of people are starving all
They're
the
worried
time.
about
And
that. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I was worried about that because I get up so early, and then with the intermittent fasting, I usually was a good breakfast eater,
Hmm.
because usually around 10:30, you're just like, oh my gosh, what time is lunch?
Yeah.
But but it really hasn't bothered me at all, because I think you and I talked about how, even after the program, to continue that habit, even if you just have breakfast like once or twice or something like that, a
Hmm.
week instead of every day. But I was amazed that that didn't bother me, that I wasn't just, you know, ready to chew a pencil at noon or something.
Right. Yeah, awesome. Very cool. So as you kind of have gone through the process, obviously you found some tips and tricks and things that have helped you be
Hmm.
successful. What are some of the things that maybe you learned? And it could be, you're learning to make food fun and delicious or meal
Yeah.
prep, but maybe learned about yourself or aha moments or just things you kind of realized that maybe you didn't expect or maybe it was kind
Right.
of new for you kind of process as you've kind of gone through the process.
Well, I think for me too, it was basically, I didn't realize how far away I had gotten from just sticking with meals, or not like snacking in between, and the types of things I was snacking on and things like that. Like I had to like keep filling the candy dish at work. It's like, but I'm not eating it, and it's like, I haven't been like tempted by it, because it's like for everybody else. And I'm
Yeah.
laughing at all of them coming in and getting candy. So this week my coworker was gone, so I had to fill the candy dish, and I'm like, seriously, this is what I used to eat every single afternoon. We would have, a little, even when
Right.
it's like a fun size Snickers or
Yeah.
something like that. I didn't realize how far away I had gotten from, I thought I was eating healthy, but you just forget that or like in the morning, sometimes in the beginning when I was doing meal prep, I would want to just pop it in my mouth and just, when you're cooking, you're just snacking,
Right.
and by the time it's dinner time, you're really not hungry, but you're just going to eat dinner. And I didn't, that was kind of an aha of like, you really have moved away from what you're thinking that you're doing.
Yeah.
You really are eating more than you think you're doing.
Yeah. Which I think is that's something we always talk about in the program is pay attention to your kind of tendencies or habits. Because so many of us, we're cutting our fruit up or making some taco meat or whatever. And we're just taking bites of it or we're just, and it's so easy to overeat. And you don't think it's
Yes,
a lot, but it adds up. And
it
that's,
adds up. Yeah.
even just a little bit over what you need on a daily basis can make us gain weight over time. So
Right.
yeah, those are huge. I think that's a huge aha moment to realize, oh, like this is what I should be eating and how I should be eating and when I should be eating. You kind of
Yeah.
realize, oh, I've gotten a little farther away from that than I probably should. And so it's always good to come back. So very
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. It was kind of a correction for me, I think, which really helped, you know?
Right. Right. And I think, and if I remember right, when we talked initially, I mean, you're generally health conscious. I mean, obviously anybody who deals with gluten sensitivities and,
Yeah.
all that, I mean, you're not just going out picking out on Little Caesars or I don't know, whatever brand
Yeah.
of
Right.
bread or gluten
Mm-hmm.
products, right? So you're generally going to be a little more health conscious. And I know even for myself, I'm gluten free as well. Like sometimes I have to look and be like, okay, I'm snacking on simple stuff like fruit and nuts and whatever. And so
Mm-hmm.
you really have to kind of have these like checkpoints where you're like, oh,
Right.
I need to come back to where I'm at. And I know for you, I mean, some of it was just making little tweaks and changes along the way
Yeah.
that, can really just optimize the health. So it's
Or
very
just
cool.
even the quantity. And gluten-free does not mean low calorie.
Or
That's,
healthy, right?
yeah. It's like, wait a minute, what did I just do? Like, okay, I'm eating nuts. Well, how much am I eating?
Right.
Because that's a lot of calories. It's one thing to have that little handful. It's another thing to have a half a bag while you're watching TV or something.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
it's easy. I mean, cashews, like I could seriously
Oh,
eat like almost a whole bag and I don't even think about it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Okay.
mindless. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. That mindless eating for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So So let's talk about the fun stuff. What were some of the things that you personally experienced, some of the results? I think we're at 28 pounds today. Is that right?
Yeah, I couldn't
Which
believe I had lost a
is,
pound. I was like, wow, how did that happen?
yeah, even on maintenance. And that's the thing. I mean,
I
the goal is not
know.
to lose weight, but your body's so primed to burn fat. You're still dropping a little bit here and there, which is cool.
Yeah,
So
it's nice. Yeah,
yeah,
especially because I
cool.
will be
So
going to New York City next weekend. And so now that's my next hurdle to get through.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so tell us, I mean, you've lost the weight, obviously,
yeah.
and you've gotten to where, I mean, your goal, right? I mean, your
Mm-hmm.
goal weight, and obviously we kind of went below that, so there's a little bit
Below.
of,
Right.
wiggle
A
room
flex.
if we
Yeah.
want it. So
Yeah.
very cool. So what other things maybe have you kind of seen other than the number on the scale dropping? Anything you've
Mm-hmm.
kind of experienced along the way, or maybe the fun things that happen with weight loss?
Yeah, I think people have asked me about the program. People at work have asked me about the program, which is nice because my coworker and my boss are also very health conscious. So it's kind of nice, and they're getting to that point of, I don't know, menopause it really wreaks havoc on our bodies. But my coworker is just starting to get through that, and she just feels like she's just everything she does, she's just like gaining a pound a day, and she's usually a very healthy person. So we've been able to have more discussions about that and stuff like that. But it just being able to get into clothes where you don't feel so bound, like I think I told you a couple times I wore pants that I haven't worn in, probably 3 years or something. And today I got a pair of pants on that because it was like last fall. I put them away for the winter. We've had such a long winter here. I finally got to wear these pants, and it's like, wow, they button, and I don't have to like suck
Right.
it in to button
Suck
it,
it in.
So, and my middle, because I feel like with women and probably men too, but as we age and women after menopause, it just your body structure changes, and unless you're just doing a ton of exercising, which I'm not doing, it just settles there in the middle, and you just get these love handles, and it just you just feel like you don't like the way the weight is shifting. Even when you lose weight, you don't really like the way it's shifting.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
next is to exercise.
Yeah. Yep. And that's one of the beauties is we don't exercise for the first, 6 weeks or so. And then we move into exercising more and that kind of thing, which helps,
Yeah.
now that you've lost all, we're talking this midsection fat. Now we
Yeah.
tone up a little bit, which is always a little fun, and it's obviously
Yes.
healthy for us. So that's great.
And I saw your post recently about how like just exercising doesn't lose weight, because I would try to do that when I was feeling really crummy about myself and just exercise more or go out and just really try to get my heart rate up, and it just never really mattered. So it
Mm-hmm.
was interesting to see that, to read that information, because that's what I feel like I've been experiencing.
Yep. Yeah, it is. So many people, they're trying to just kill themselves in the gym, and it actually, research shows there's very little outcomes on weight loss or fat burning because of exercise. So it really comes down to getting the body healthy and eating the right way and all that fun stuff. So very
Right.
cool. So you've lost weight,
Mm-hmm.
you've dropped clothes sizes, and
Mm-hmm.
seen all that fun side effects and things. Other things, what other things have you noticed? Anything else you kind of experienced along the process?
Well, I feel like just because of the water, I feel like my skin just feels like clearer. I don't have the dry patches and stuff like that. It just feels brighter and healthier, which is kind of nice as you age too, because that's not a good thing either.
Yeah. Awesome. And
But
especially as I mean, you guys have had a crazy winter. Even
no,
going through winter and getting out of
yeah,
that, I mean, that's a great thing to have good skin, even kind of
yeah.
coming out of a harsh winter.
Like you just don't I haven't gotten itchy from just dry skin patches, and just, because it got so cold, for
Right.
so long. And so that was and I'm sure that you're putting so much water in. As I've talked to you, I sometimes wake up with like Charlie horses and stuff like that. I don't know if other people get that, but I'll get those Charlie horses. And so just adding the Himalayan salt and just I knew it wasn't because I was dehydrated. I'm drinking so
Right.
much more water than I've ever drank in my life. So just knowing how to, just seeing that in your body and knowing what you can do to counteract it. That's not like drug related, but it's just like really making healthy choices so that your body is nourished. I know you use that word a lot,
Yeah.
but instead of just like, you know, there were a couple days that I had a headache that you said just add some salt to your water instead of like taking Tylenol or something like that. I like that I can do something that it's like my body's telling me that something's wrong, but I don't know really, other than, you know, masking it with Tylenol or something. I like that I can, you know, do what it needs. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
That is, I think that's a skill or an art, I don't know what you call it, science that a lot
Yeah.
of us in the United States have kind of lost. We don't know how to listen to our bodies, and we just mask it with food or Tylenol or, you know, sweetened beverage or something, and we just think we got to drink a Diet Coke or whatever, and it just, you know, it makes us feel good for a minute and masks it, but then we find we got to drink another one or, you know, anyway. So
Right.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, listening
exactly.
to your body and giving it what it needs. And I talk about nourishing the body all the time, because that is the key, because all those symptoms that we experience, whether it's a simple headache or weight gain or joint pain or whatever, skin issues, it's all just an alarm. It's like a bell going off saying, hey, something's going wrong. Let's give it what it, you know, we need something. And so if we can give it what it
Right.
needs and nourish it, it does what it should. So it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. Great.
That's fantastic as far as, I mean, you got to your ideal weight where we wanted to get even lower, which is so cool. And then
so cool.
obviously skin and, I mean,
Yeah.
just feeling good and
Yeah.
listening to your body.
And just not
very,
being as tired.
very cool.
And not being tired or
Yeah.
fatigued, which is great.
That
you know,
is
you just don't get that
fantastic.
sluggish feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, those afternoon lulls, I know for me in the past were like, all right, 3 o'clock's rolling around. I got to either
crashing.
eat something or,
Yeah.
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 So
Yep.
very cool. So increased energy. That's so awesome to hear. I mean, and some of that means that our body's getting healthier. I mean, all of it really. I mean, skin and your energy and weight loss. I mean, all that really means that our body is functioning at a cellular level better. But then there's also the fun side effects, right? Your clothes are fitting better and you're noticing it and you're feeling more confident. I mean, that's kind of the fun part of it that really also can add a lot of motivation for sure. So
Right.
very cool.
So
Well, so good, very good. Now, 2 last questions I always like to ask for people who've gone through the program. If someone were joining the program and just starting out, what would be like, if you had one thing or one piece of advice for them, what would you say to them if they were just joining the program?
Well, I think what keeps coming back to me was in the beginning videos and the beginning training was to trust the program. And if you just really, you know, like I was like, what do I have to lose, really? You know, the weight, you know, and if it doesn't work,
Right.
I've been down this road before where it hasn't worked, you know. So I think just really mentally committing to it and just saying, I'm going to give this a really good try and I'm going to see if this works, because it's worked for so many other people. That what have I got to lose?
Yeah, awesome. Trust the process. I mean, I say that probably every time we talk, right?
I think
Trust
so.
the process, and
Don't
but
worry.
it's so key, right? Because sometimes we get so wrapped up in like the daily stuff, and it's just like, no. Just let the body do what it needs to do. It'll come off, and we look back and we're like, I've lost 28 pounds in like whatever it is, not even 8 weeks, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's super cool.
It helps on those days that you get on the scale and you've gained 4 pounds for whatever reason, you know. Just
Right.
like tell yourself, okay, it's okay. Just keep going, you know?
Yeah. And it is. Some days you do gain 4 pounds. You're like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be losing here. And then like 3 days later, you're down that plus another 2 or whatever. And so, very cool.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice. I would trust the process, right? That is the key. And so many people are skeptical. They're like, I don't know, is this going to work for me? And I always just say, yes, if you trust the process, you just do it. It'll work. So, so very cool. Now, last question I always like to ask, I'll let you know, let you go. I know it's, Friday night. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us, and I'll let you get to your Friday night. So last question I was like to ask is, if there was somebody that maybe isn't part of the program, like a group of, not somebody specifically, but maybe like a type of person, who do you think would kind of benefit from this program the most?
I think what the beauty of it is that it really will work for anybody, and we all have our different frustrations or maybe our different reasons for starting it or our different life experiences. But it just, wanting to be healthier. I think, as all these chronic illnesses and everything are coming to light in our country, and the whole healthcare issue, and it's just such a big deal right now and so expensive, that I think longevity and just anyone who really wants to get a handle on being healthy, and so much of that is losing weight. It's like my mom is 95, so
Wow.
it's amazing what she can do, and she's very healthy. But I remember even the nurses, like when she had knee replacement operations like 20 years ago, but they were like, well, she's not so heavy, so we can help her. She can do her therapy, just our joints and everything that contributes health wise to the extra pounds and the extra weight. So much of it comes from just having that extra baggage, it
Hmm.
seems like. So I think anyone who just really wants to have, less health issues moving forward, or even if you have chronic issues, just making sure that you are doing the wisest thing for what your body is looking for, so that you have less pain or less discomfort with whatever you're dealing with. So
Yeah.
that's what I would, and I think that's generally almost all the population, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah. I mean, statistically, 1 in 2 people struggle with chronic disease
Hmm.
now in America. And then those are the only diagnosed ones. I think most people deal with various other things that maybe they're not diagnosed with a specific
Right,
disorder or disease, but we have
right.
joint pain, or we have headaches, or we have, whatever. So awesome. I
Yeah.
think that's great. I think really the key, and I always say the key to losing weight is getting healthy. And right. And that's
Yes.
that's it. That's the key. And so I
Hmm.
totally agree with that. So very
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Liz, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
This is a celebration victory
Yes, it
video as
is.
well.
Very much.
Super cool. And obviously, you and I still have some time together to
Yep.
really hit home that set point for your body and learn the sustainability components and the fun part of it, of learning how to eat treats and snacks in a way that doesn't hurt our body. And obviously, we'll continue that. But I appreciate you
Yes.
sharing your story. You're an
Thank
inspiration
you.
to
Thank
so many
you.
people. Had some
I hope
great
it helps.
yeah, I think it will. Anybody watching this that's not part of the program or even part of the program, I think there's some great wisdom here for people to just take control of their health, and that's fantastic. So thank you for
Great.
being here and sharing your story. And for
Thank
anybody
you.
who does watch this or is watching, give Liz some likes and some comments and things. Show your love. And if you do have questions, feel free to comment below. I'm sure either of us will be tagged in it. We can answer. So anyway, Liz,
Great.
thank you so much. I'll let you
Thank
get to your
you.
weekend, and
Okay, you
we'll chat
too.
later.
All right.
Okay,
Have
we'll
a
talk
great
to you later.
night.
Bye.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See ya.